And the third shirt goes too. Pull away! Be sure to check your email sometime today. Instead of confronting her, Gohan rushes to the aid of his comrade, while she easily has her way with Dende, screaming how dare he butt in when he is but only the mere god of Earth, offering her nothing but a glare. She sets her eyes on the Z-Sword, promising she will manage to undo the seal. Gasping out, Kibito Kai beckons Gohan to defeat her, as she is the cause of all of this, obstructing her path. She questions the Prince of Saiyans what he thinks he's doing. And as injured as he is, he curses the situation, demanding this be the final time he battles for the sake of Earth. But Lila believes he is much too weakened to stand up against her. She taunts. She is a god. Not only does his current state give her the advantage, but she can also read his mind. Undeterred, he continues his affront. She mocks even if he gets lucky and actually manages to land a punch. How he is now, it won't do any damage. Besides, she has around another 100,000 years before she even plans to think about dying. Sure enough, Vegeta is too far gone to make a difference. The Kaio admits he was worried her telepathic powers would eventually hurt their chances here. Also too weak to fight, Gohan could only stand by in horror. Stepping up to the sword, she goes to free Xicor to put an end to all of this. While Kibito Kai theorizes, their best chance is to have someone who possesses the same power as her go against her, which means a demon, or merely himself. Grabbing his fellow Kaio from behind, she fumes he explained what he thinks he can do, as he's always been so powerless. But screaming, as a Kaioshin, he will not allow her to get away with this. She will atone for her sins with her life, which leads the West Kaio to believe he plans to sacrifice himself by self-destructing. He whips his head over to Gohan and Vegeta to tell he leaves everything else to the two of them. As she persists he stop what he's doing, Lila argues Kaioshins are not allowed to self-destruct. But rules aside, Kibito Kai never thought he would see the day one of his own became as evil as she, bidding his sister farewell. While continuing his duty as guardian of Hell, Piccolo senses the disturbance in the living world. Even Goku and Pikkon feel something amiss, though they're supposed to be completely isolated from all other realms. Pikkon is the first to question aloud what is going on, theorizing if something is happening on the Earth. But Goku feels whatever it is, it's much too close to be from there. When someone touches the ground behind the pair, Nova Shenron, whose presence opens an entirely new can of worms. Cutting straight to the chase, he announces the Kaioshin is dead. Back on Earth, pounding the ground in frustration, Gohan blames himself for the death of Kibito Kai. But Vegeta attempts to reason. The deity merely took responsibility for his past mistake. That's why all of this started. The Z-Sword stuck in the ground firmly. A crack begins to form. Not thinking such a thing could even happen, Vegeta worries it's only a matter of time before Xicor frees himself from his confinement, as a voice beckons them from above. Recognizing it, Gohan asks if it's really the Elder Kaio. And indeed it is, who confirms their fears. It seems the seal has somehow failed, putting the Saiyans in a state of panic. But luckily, it should hold out for about another month. But around then, Xicor will be loose once again. Although they have bought a little time, Gohan is overtaken by a wave of dread, questioning the old Kai what they should do, who himself is a bit lost, leaving our hero to wonder if there is anything they can do. But confirming the situation, Vegeta inquires if this means they must surpass that monster within a month's time. Apprehensive, Gohan argues no matter how much they train, there's no way they can hope to stand a chance. Thinking aloud, the Elder supposes such immense power couldn't be sealed away by a single Kaioshin, scoffing what a lackluster job Kibito Kai must have done. Who happens to be right behind him? bellowing what he's doing here. Given he is a Kaioshin, and not a malevolent one, there aren't too many other places for him to go. As his elder gathers his composure, he brings up he didn't have to try to make himself look so cool in taking down Lila. That was just flashy what he did. On Earth, our heroes move to pick up the pieces. Lucky for them, any wounds suffered today will heal. Placing Dende on his magic carpet, Popo waves goodbye to the others before zipping away. Asking the real questions, Vegeta demands Gohan explain who that Xicor guy is, believing he and Goten to be Kakarot's only children. Naturally, Gohan has no idea, but his father did tell him a possibly relevant story quite a few years ago. Not long after his return from Yardrat, the two took a bath like old times, during which Gohan asked if he was really on the aforementioned planet for the entire last year. And as a matter of fact, he wasn't. Before making it back to Earth, he went somewhere else. There, he met this woman named Princess Lila, who offered him all the delicious food he could eat. Taking advantage of the opportunity, he ate everything he possibly could before falling into a food coma right then and there. And when he finally came to, he noticed a big scratch on his neck, and she, along with the entire feast, were both gone. Truth be told, this occurrence is what caused him to arrive a little later than Frieza. He hadn't planned on oversleeping. Laughing the situation off like it's nothing, his son doesn't see the same humor in this, pointing out if that guy from the future hadn't shown, it would have been horrible. Continuing his giggling, he didn't really think of it that way. In the present, the prince deduces that's when West Kaioshin must have stolen his genetic information, as a shadow engulfs the pair. A capsule core aircraft. Bulma in the driver's seat. She's grateful to discover everyone seems to be in one piece. With Goku, he questions the Shadow Dragon if he knows what's been going on in the worlds below. But not wanting to explain, he tells the Saiyan to shut up and follow, putting the two at a loss for words. Looking up, a mysterious castle appears in the clouds. The gang makes their way inside. Hey, Shenron reveals himself. Cackling, it appears Son Goku has gained Nova as an ally. Even that won't matter, as there is no way he will allow him to pass through. Beginning to speak to his Shadow Dragon brother, Hayes continues, informing them that unless they are able to defeat each floor's dragon in this palace, they will never reach his boss, and even if they manage to do so. Quickly calling for a timeout, Goku apologizes, but they're in a hurry, asking not to do this Palace of Evil thing today, completely deflating Hayes. Nova goes on with what he was going to say a second ago. There is an extremely urgent matter at hand, so they must speak with Omega Shenron immediately, commanding he call him now. Defeated, the dragon complies, muttering Nova is always such a buzzkill. Reminiscent of the scene after the battle with Nappa and Vegeta, Trunks is the first to wake up. In a rare show of affection, Brawl is happy to see her brother is okay, which is subjective, as he's still in a bit of pain. Always on a single note, Vegeta scoffs that's what he gets for slacking on his training, leaving his son in mildly ashamed silence. But the others give him a warm welcome. Swinging his head to find Goten, Videl assures he is fine, just unconscious. As she pulls up his covers, Bulma brings up what they were talking about off camera a few minutes ago. Essentially, Xicor will break free in a month's time. Her husband confirms this, as the old Kaios said so himself. Lowering her head, Bulma can only wish Goku was here. Pan asks if he can be brought back using Namek's Dragon Balls, but Vegeta snips that would be impossible. He isn't dead, he left the world of the living of his own volition. Gohan adding even if he were here, Xicor is still leagues stronger than his father was before he left, so it's not like he would be able to defeat him. This realization bringing down the entire room. Breaking the silence, Trunks can't help but feel if they did have Goku, he would manage to find some way to win, inevitably causing Vegeta to lash out, questioning just how long they intend to rely on Kakarot. Growling, they brainstorm why he thought he could leave this world in the first place. It's because he believed the rest of them would be able to handle any problem it faced without him. This is nothing more than a test, and they must prove him right in his decision. Everyone a bit taken aback by Vegeta's little speech, who promises he will find a way to defeat this Xicor fellow no matter what. Achoo! As it seems superstition can travel through multiple realms, Pikkon has to ask if heavenly entities can even get colds. Entering the room, Omega Shenron. He greets Goku with a smirk, stating it's been quite a long time since they've seen each other. Our hero returns the ironic salutation. Leaving the past where it is, he cuts right to the chase, wanting to explain exactly what is happening on the Earth. Making a long-distance call, a voice telepathically chimes in asking for Gohan. In a nervous sweat, Pan questions her father who that is, which is recognized as the old Kaioshin. He informs the gang they too have been searching for a solution to this problem, digging into all sorts of things. It really just seems more and more they're going to need to call in Goku for this one. The sound of a Kai saying this puts him in a state of shock, soliciting if he knows where he is. But with Vegeta, unfortunately this makes his little pep talk pretty much useless. He tells everyone they technically know his whereabouts, getting their hopes up. He explains it's a place called the Ryu Ocean Realm, or the Uocean Realm, or the Dragon something realm. I don't speak Japanese. However, whatever it's called, the Dragon team finds the name rather interesting. Goten wakes up right in time to get filled in firsthand on what's going on. Again asking the real questions, Vegeta beckons the old Kai to explain what this Ryu Ocean Realm is exactly. And to keep it simple, he reveals it's more or less a place where the various Shenrons live. But this statement leaves a bit further to be understood, as Bulma thought Shenron was created by planetary gods. Clearing this up, neither Kami or Dende ever quote created a dragon, but merely called one forth from this realm. Essentially, they've always existed in this other reality. The Namekians merely had the ability to summon them. Trunks then asks why Goku would go to a place like that. Furthering on his lore expansion, originally, the dragons were unable to leave the Ryu Ocean Realm. In order to call them forth to the living world, the Dragon Balls and a dragon model are needed. The latter Gohan remembers well. But when the evil dragons were born, their model was destroyed, meaning Shenron lost his physical presence in the living world. While seemingly a trivial issue to a wish-granting dragon, this in fact meant he was unable to return to his native realm and required a new vessel to enter into, leading Vegeta to deduce this means Shenron's spirit must have entered Goku.